Welcome back. The Agriculture Ministry has welcomed another cohort of certified farmers into the fold.
One of the Department of Agriculture's most recent initiatives is a graduation ceremony for the 2021 farmer training for farmers in agricultural regions 1, 2, and 7. The training is one of the many outputs of the enhancement of the efficiency of production, distribution supply chains in the fruits and vegetable sector project, often known as the 7 Crops Project, which continues to fulfill its mandate of reducing St. Lucia's food import bill. Participant of the farmer training, Woolston Alfred, in expressing gratitude on behalf of the farmers in his training cohort, says the information received will only serve to enable farmers to capitalize on future opportunities within the sector and improve their output.
Diseases, pests, all of those issues. And the other thing about record keeping, I think I mentioned that. And I think that record keeping farmers will go a long way in guiding or providing data for the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of various aspects of what it is we do, what is it we don't do, and where on island we are practicing what we are doing, so that they can probably influence policy in terms of land use and land redistribution throughout the country in terms of what we can produce for sustainability for the country. I mean, these are the things I was thinking about in terms of benefits of the program and how we can extend it.
Permanent Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, Barrymore Felicia, reaffirms the ministry's commitment to assisting local farmers, particularly in light of the setbacks within the industry caused by Hurricane Elsa, saying that the department's recent acquisition of $5 million in funding will soon be released in order to begin the rollout of farmer aid.
We intend, first of all, to provide support to those the hardest hit first, bananas and plantain farmers, and see what other support we can give to those other farmers in terms of greenhouses and the like. So that is on its way. I felt it important to reassure you as promising farmers, as farmers, that the government of agriculture is serious about your success. And we're not just talking the talk, but we're providing the financing to show that we are well behind you and supporting you.
Mr. Felicia praised the farmers on their commitment to completing the certification program and encouraged them to use it as a tool to improve themselves and the agricultural industry as a whole. From the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.
In news further afield, about 1,300 people remain unaccounted for in Germany after the heaviest rainfall in a century caused deadly flash floods to devastate parts of Western Europe, prompting a large-scale rescue effort. CNN's Nina Dos Santos reports.
Meteorologists say Germany saw its heaviest rainfall in a century. In one district alone, 1,300 people are assumed missing in flash floods. At least 55 are dead across Western Germany and Belgium. The Netherlands and Luxembourg have been hit hard. Some regions received more than a month's worth of rain in just 24 hours. Italy and France are sending teams to search for the missing and help with the cleanup. Experts say the intense downpours like these are becoming a lot more common as the planet gets warmer.
I've never seen anything like this. It's incredible. Frankly, I never thought I'd see that in Belgium.
We are afraid. We are really panicking. My daughter is supposed to come home today. It's really stressful and anxiety. We came back from work because we are not safe. It is scary. We've never known anything like this.
And CNN's Nina Dos Santos tracking all the developments live from London. She's with us now. Nina.
Thanks very much, John. Well, these are dramatic scenes unfolding in Germany, the Netherlands, but also Belgium and Luxembourg. These 4 countries where rivers have burst their banks thanks to a low-pressure weather system that has been lingering over this part of Europe for some time, dumping, as you said, heavy rainfall. We're talking about 200 millimetres in just 9 hours. The rivers haven't been able to absorb that. They burst their banks with tragic consequences. In fact, just to point out that one of the most populous parts of Germany is one of the 2 regions where the death toll is the highest, North Rhine-Westphalia. 2 regions in Germany in particular have been affected, and that has prompted the loss of nearly 50 lives so far, but with, as you pointed out, scores of missing people at this point who authorities just can't reach because mobile phone networks are down. That means that the death toll could well rise higher. In the meantime, these are the scenes that greeted Germany and those other countries, and ones that Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, was watching from afar because at the moment she finds herself in Washington on a state visit. Torrential rains and severe flooding are causing havoc across Europe, leaving dozens dead and extensive damage in their wake. Rivers overflowed their banks, houses collapsed, roads were washed away, and a muddy mess left behind. Parts of Germany received over 200 millimetres of rain in just 9 hours. 2 firefighters are among the dead there. Others left with nothing.
All these people living here, I know them all. I feel so sorry for them. They've lost everything. All they have is what they had on them. It's all gone. A friend had a workshop over there. Nothing standing. The bakery, the butcher, it's all gone. It's scary, unimaginable.
This dramatic scene in Western Germany, as some people left stranded on their rooftops were rescued by helicopters. Across the border in Belgium, this man braved the water to check on his neighbours, water nearly reaching his windows. The village of Pepinster, devastated, homes have collapsed and cars were swallowed up by the rising water. One man says he's worried about his family.
My mother was stuck in a house over there with my brothers and sisters. The walls of the house are starting to crack, and the house is at risk of collapsing.
In the Netherlands, a care home was evacuated during the storm. Dutch authorities helped to get elderly residents to safety, fearing the facility could lose electricity and other supplies. Visiting Washington on Thursday, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel said she's thinking of those in her homeland.
These are terrible days for the people in the flooded areas. My thoughts are with you, and you can trust that all forces of our government, federal, regional, and community, collectively will do everything under most difficult conditions to save lives, alleviate dangers, to relieve distress.
This as she ordered Germany's military to help in some of the hardest hit areas. A German meteorologist says that in some areas they haven't seen this much rainfall in 100 years, and the country is in for more bad news. Weather forecasters say additional rainfall is expected in southwestern Germany in the days to come.
Most legal restrictions on social contact have been lifted in England. There are now no limits on how many people can meet. Nightclubs reopened at midnight and table service will not be necessary in pubs and restaurants. Face coverings will be recommended in some spaces, but not required by law. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has urged people to still be cautious, and he is currently self-isolating after the Health Secretary tested positive for COVID-19.
The moment they've been waiting for over a year. The final stage of unlocking in England, with social distancing rules dropped. 1,000 people packed into this club in central London, with many more lining up outside. They've waited 16 months. What's a little longer?
There's so many people here, and we're just so pumped to get in there.
It's been a year and a half, and now we're all just ready to dance.
I've had my vaccines. I want to have a good time, hon.
So excited. So excited. Can't wait for it.
It's just like a relief after such a long time. Just have freedom.
Nightclubs are one of the few businesses that have had to stay closed throughout the whole pandemic, among the last to reopen.
And this is what many have waited so long for, and what the nightlife industry has so desperately needed.
Some feel the sector has been sidelined.
The last year has been hell on earth. I mean, it's been very, very difficult. If you look at what happened last week with the football compared with what's happening tonight, and you think, why were we treated differently?
All we're doing is taking the screens out, putting them into storage.
It's more sedate, but no less celebratory at this pub in West London, where they're preparing for an end to table service only and mandatory masks.
I can't wait to enjoy doing our job rather than sort of having to basically be a policeman the whole time. And just lecturing people on what they can and can't do, where they can and can't go, the masks they wear, what they touch, where they sanitize, where they track and trace. It's going to be strange for us to adapt again, and the notion of people coming into the pub, being able to go to the table themselves without being directed.
There is concern about restrictions easing at a time when COVID cases in the UK are rising.
We're at the point where 10% just over of intensive care beds in England are occupied by people who have got COVID. So there's been a significant increase in pressure on intensive care services over the last few weeks.
With experts warning that cases could surge further, and with a third of adults not yet fully vaccinated, the worry is at what price this new freedom? Lakshmi Gopal, BBC News.
Stay with us. The latest weather report is coming up after the break.